Everybody, I have the Advancing Jet Age. It's week one for us in Airline Management 3321. So to start out, there's some contents for us. A little bit about me is what we're going to start with, and my current role in my career, and then some historical background, effects on the Jet Age, and a little bit of a conclusion at the end. So a little bit about me. I'm Steve. I'm originally from San Antonio, Texas, although I've lived in many places over the years, including Stillwater, Oklahoma, Killeen, and Denton. But currently, I reside in Dallas. So over my career, I've basically just been in and out of Texas and Oklahoma. Until recently, in November, I got hired as an FO on the 175 for Envoy. And while I've been working full time, I've been trying to catch up on the school at A&M Central, and hopefully I can get that done within the last year. So I'm basically, because you could call me a junior, even though it's taken much longer than that. But anyway, I first started at Central Texas College for private instrument, and then I moved home to pursue commercial CFI and double I. Around this time, when I got done, the COVID-19 pandemic kind of hit, and I was forced to go back to school, where I took care of my basically my basics at UNT for this degree. And after that, I finally got an opportunity in late 2021 to go to Oklahoma State and start instructing there. Spent 2 years there. I did everything up from instrument. Never had a private student, actually. I went from all the way up from instrument, and I took everybody through commercial multi. And then eventually I moved back to Dallas in May 2023 and taught CFI for ALTP Arlington for a good while. And after that, went to the airline. I've been there ever since, and it's been a great time. So what we're talking about this week is a little bit of a historical perspective on where aviation came from, and specifically what happened when deregulation came along, and what this government agency here, the Civil Aeronautics Board, was doing to basically hinder the development of the airline industry. But in 1938, the Civil Aeronautics Act marked the establishment of the Civil Aeronautics Board, endowing it with a dual and often conflicting mandate to promote the development and safety of civil aeronautics while simultaneously providing for its regulation. This worked in some ways, but it didn't in others, and especially we see that when the larger jets start hitting the line in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. We will see that the CAB worked for the majority of its existence to regulate what was going on currently in the domestic airline business, but it eventually got outgrown, and a lot of its priorities were then, or its responsibilities were then transferred to the DOT and the FAA. And that's later on in like early 80s is when I think they finally handed everything over. But yeah, so we can see here, I wanted to mention the CAB meticulously vetted airlines seeking to operate in interstate commerce. New applicants faced an exceptionally high standard, needing to demonstrate that not only that they were fit, willing, and able, but also that their proposed service was genuinely necessary for public convenience and necessity. This rigorous approval process effectively stifled new market entry, with no new large airlines or trunk carriers being approved throughout the CAB's entire 40-year tenure after World War II. So that's pretty important. So it was very hard for anybody to get into, to have a business outside of the elite four who came about after World War I. After World War I, primarily, the state of the airline business domestically was flying the mail. And the big ones were, I believe, United, TWA, American, and Eastern. So those were the big four, and they remained the big four basically until we start seeing deregulation hit the industry and also the introduction of jumbo jets. So we'll see how that plays out. So anyway, like I was saying, it was hard for the industry to expand, especially with these larger jets being introduced in the 70s. So by the early 70s, the introduction of large jumbo jets like the Boeing 747 DC-10 and L-1011 led to significant overcapacity at the Civil Aeronautics Board, established prices. Since the CAB restricted price competition, airlines resorted to costly non-price amenities such as the piano bar on DC-10, which is really cool, to attract passengers. So this is kind of what we mean when air travel was quite glamorous back in the day. So whenever you see like vintage art and posters and stuff, it's always glamorized, and that's because nobody could afford it, right? Because all the prices were regulated at the same level by the CIB. So this led to actually a decrease in basically people attending flights on the Big Four. So it's a dramatic decline in passenger load factors, plummeting from 70% to 50% by the mid-1970s, resulted in substantial airline losses. So now the Big Four can't even stay in business, and that's because the CAB is over-regulating what the airlines can and can't do. Congress first, so now I'm going to go into the actual act of deregulating the airline business or the airline industry. Congress first deregulated cargo airlines in 1977, a move that directly contributed to the success of FedEx. This paved the way for the Airline Deregulation Act of 1978, which eliminated restrictions on domestic routes, schedules, and government controls over domestic rates. Although mandated to be phased out over 4 years, the CAB moved much faster, readily granting new route authority. The CAB officially ceased to exist on January 1st, 1985. And that was what I was saying earlier. It took a good while for them to actually hand over all of their functions to other government agencies. Moving on here. So as we can see, ticket volatility was a big issue because it was all bureaucratic overreach from the CAB. And in my opinion, at least, it's pretty obvious that the CIB did hinder the industry a lot, especially when the big jets came out. Had deregulation not taken place out of the CAB's hands, the industry would not have reached its full potential like it has today. And the demand certainly wouldn't be there. And the demand is only growing, particularly in my experience. And I'm still relatively new to actually being an airline pilot and being in the industry day in and day out. It's evident that things are getting way out of control, and there's not enough space for as much traffic as we have, and that's a whole nother presentation. But anyway, one can easily discern that deregulation was a necessity for the airline industry to reach its full potential, without a doubt, and I think we saw that here. So here are my references. I used the book and a little bit of airline deregulation, an article online, and that's it. Thanks for watching.